All right, well, we want to welcome everyone to our intermediate athletics meeting. And so we're going to go ahead and get started with a word of prayer, and then we'll get through our meeting. Got some important information to give to our families. We're going to start with a word of prayer, and then we'll get into the information for the night. So let's pray. Father in heaven, we thank you so much for each of these families. Thank you that we are able to come and just coordinate information to help folks just get an understanding of where to go and what to do and how things will work. And so we just want to praise you tonight. Also, that we have an opportunity to use athletics as a tool of ministry to young people and to others outside this building as well. And so we just give you praise for those things. Pray a special hand of blessing over each family as we start a new school year. We pray these things in the strong name of Jesus. Amen. Well, again, we'd like to welcome you. My name is Jeremy Wintercheck. I'm the athletic director here at the Christian School at Castle Hills. And I wanted to give you some information tonight that hopefully you will find beneficial and that you can take home and we'll answer some questions for you. I also wanted to introduce to you a gentleman standing to my right here who is actually our assistant athletic director. One of his responsibilities is to coordinate intermediate athletics. His name is Keith Brooks. If y'all want to give Coach Brooks a big round of applause, I appreciate that. Coach Brooks is not new to our school, and he is new to this position. He is actually serving now as our head boys basketball coach as well as our assistant athletic director. But again, we have assistant in the position. There comes a few different things, but one of those things is to coordinate our intermediate athletic department and the events in there. So you'll be hearing from Keith Brooks a lot. So when you get messages at home, a lot of times it'll come from him. Anything kind of announcing upcoming events will come from him. He will be kind of your first line of defense when it comes to information about the intermediate athletic department. So we're going to kind of share the mic tonight. Chrissy, could you scroll on to the next slide? And there's going to be a couple things up here, and I know you probably cannot see this from the distance there, but I wanted to just share a little bit with you real quick about our Booster Club. We have an outstanding Booster Club here, and it's done a lot of great things for us in the past few years. But if any of you are interested in our Booster Club, it's a really wonderful organization. There are some great volunteer opportunities, and I will tell you that we need your help because especially as students get older, and we begin having more and more home athletic events. You know, it's our desire to create a quality environment for our students and their families here. And so to do that, it just takes a village. And so we need the help of our families to help, fill some roles and some needs here to make this an outstanding environment for our students to be in. Some things that our Booster Club does that you might be interested in volunteering as. We always need concession workers. We need folks who could be willing to manage a concession stand. That means, come in, help set it, and help tear it down, not necessarily work it, but just help us with the beginning and the end. We need folks who might be able to come and help stock our concession stand from time to time. We're always in need of gate workers. Football games need chain workers, statisticians, scoreboard operators, some folks to help organize fundraisers, even some folks to help organize athletic banquets. So those are things that we have as volunteer opportunities for you as families that does count toward volunteer hours. But other offerings that our Booster Club provides, there are sports passes that they provide. We do a cookie dough fundraiser every year. We do a breakfast of champions on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So there's a hot breakfast that is actually provided for students to buy on Tuesday and Thursday mornings. There's a black jacket sale, and you might have seen our Booster Club out in the foyer had that black jacket order going on. There's some fan gear that we've done, and there's also a prepaid concession card that our Booster Club offers to folks as something that you can prepay for, and then just take that concession card to the concession stand at any of our home games here on campus. So there's also a webpage. We actually had some technical difficulties this afternoon, so we weren't able to link the webpage to this. But we do have an athletic Booster Club section of our webpage. If you have some just questions, you want to check that out and see what other opportunities there are. Chrissy, can we go and scroll to the next one? Couple of QR codes here for you, and so there might be something you want to take a look at, and if you can't get your phone to it from there, we'll be happy to come back up here at the end for you. These are things that will help you sign up for sports, and then it has a QR code that is informational for all of our fall sports at the intermediate level. And so if you would be interested in any of those sports, that's a QR code. It's got all the information on our webpage. That QR code will take you straight to it for volleyball, cross country, football, or just to sign up for a sport in general. All right, Chrissy, go ahead and scroll it down to the next one. All right, so really quickly, we want to hit on who we are. And again, we were not able to link some of these. It wouldn't link to the webpage, but really one of the things we always like to share with our parents is that we're a missional athletic department. And so that means we operate by a mission statement. And that mission statement is that we are building champions for Christ through the balance and development of Christian character, athleticism, servant leadership, and competitive excellence. And so, what we're doing is the building champions, building people who will stand up for Christ in a world that's not always so friendly to his ideas. But then we're using those other four things to do it: Christian character, athleticism, servant leadership, and competitive excellence. And so we hope that you see some of those things develop in our athletic department. Go ahead and scroll down, please. This you might not be able to see, but it talks about our Kingdom Culture program. One of the things that we do that we feel like makes us unique is that every coach of every team that is in season or out of season is actually given a copy each week of something called the Kingdom Culture Devotion. It's also on our website. But this is a devotional that's done with all of our athletes every week. It's the same one that goes across the entire athletic department so that a 5th grader or a 6th grader could even be talking to a coach that coaches high school and interacting, and they would be able to have a point in common and a spiritual kind of theme for the week that all of our athletes are talking about. You can also find these on our Facebook page as well, or on our website if you'd like to see those each week. Okay, so go ahead and scroll down. All right, at this time I want to turn the mic over to Coach Keith Brooks. He's going to tell you about our sport offerings for intermediate school. I'm sorry, go ahead and scroll a couple more down. Chrissy, that one's high school. One more. There we go.
So as you guys can see, for our intermediate school offerings, we offer volleyball, 6-man football, 6th grade only, cross country, boys basketball, girls basketball, track and field. We also offer golf, PE class offering, no fee, and no tournaments. You can scroll down. Fall sports start dates and coaches. Volleyball, Andrew Levine, and it starts August 25th. Football, Coach Matt Garza, and it has already started. Cross country, Diana Lynn, on your left, and it starts August 27th. PE and athletic period uniforms. You can see, or maybe it's a video that you might have. You can go to www.flynnohara.com and you can order it by link and pick it up. You can go to the storefront and they will print it while on the way as well. Communications from athletics.
Just so you know, also with our PE and our intermediate school, or our athletic group in the middle, or intermediate school, all right, that's the first place that they start wearing uniforms that are different for PE or athletics than they do for their regular school day. All right, and so that's what Coach was just referring to, the Flynn O'Hara, which I'm sure you've received information about already. It's where we get our regular school uniforms. You can get, that's where we have our PE and athletic uniforms as well. So for PE in intermediate school, each student is required to have blue athletic shorts, the blue ones that you get there at Flynn O'Hara, and the gray Kingdom Athletics or Castle Hills Athletic shirts. You can also find those in the Eagle shop downstairs, so if you don't want to buy new ones and you'd rather buy them used, which is always a little bit cheaper, and so there's that available for you as well. But students do have time at the beginning and the end to go in and change during intermediate PE and athletics, and so, but you can find those at Flynn O'Hara, and they're a great resource, which is right down the street. All right, Chris, go ahead. All right, communication from athletics to families. This is an important one because we communicate in athletics a little bit differently than the rest of the school, mostly because we utilize a system with our entire athletic department called Rank 1. So if you're a 6th grader who's been here, you'll know about this. If you're an incoming 5th grader, you may not. Excuse me. So one thing that is really important is for every intermediate athletic family to download the Rank 1 Public app. All right? And the Rank 1 Public app can be found in any app store, whether you're on Apple or you have or whatever phone that you have. You can find that in your app's store. So if you'll just go into that and then download it, and then as you go in, you'll just need to select the school and then select your child. Okay? And then once you do that, there is the world of opportunities, and there actually gives you a lot of information. But once you do that, we are also able to communicate with you through the Rank 1 app. Right? And so what happens is, you'll look and see over here on the right side of the screen. This is a copy of something I sent to myself, actually, and it just kind of shows you what it looks like as a message in the Rank 1 app. And so you'll get messages, and it'll just pop up. If you put the app on your home screen and allow notifications, it'll ding at you or buzz at you, and it'll put the little notification badge on that app icon as well. Okay, so that's really, really helpful because you won't get the messages that we send out, and we send them out pretty frequently. You won't get those messages unless you have that app. Okay, so the next piece of communication from athletics to families is our website. Our website's really important on the athletics site because we've really revamped it over the last 2 years to make it very applicable to families. At first it was really applicable to folks who were coming into our school that had never seen it. Well, now it's a lot more user-friendly for you, the families, because it tells you all the stuff that's going on. All right, and so the website's a really important place. Anything that we send you over Rank 1 is usually linked to our website, so all that information is there as well. The third thing that we have on here is what's called TWICA. All right, and TWICA stands for This Week in Kingdom Athletics. Every week, towards the end of the week, it's Thursday, Friday. If we're real snowed under and busy, it might be Saturday. But TWICA is our weekly communication to you so that you know where all the practices are, what time all the practices are, when games are scheduled, all that kind of stuff. And we'll also have our Kingdom Culture devotion on it as well. It will have a place where it has games and directions. So if you go and you click on the game, it'll give you a little GPS option, and it'll just take you right to the place. All right, so you don't have to wait for an email from the coach that says, "Oh, hey, we're playing at Saks at 3:30 or whatever. Here's the address." It's automatically in there. We're actually right now populating all those addresses, so it'll be in there really quickly. So that's an important thing as well. The TWICA is very helpful. It's actually, again, it's linked to our website. There's a TWICA page on the website, and then there's one just for intermediate schools. So that's really important. All right, and then the last thing is from communication from athletics to families is that we require our coaches to send a weekly update from to their families through Rank 1. All right, so our coaches are asked every week to give you information, okay? And so, and said they usually get pretty regimented about sending it on the same day, and that's what we ask them to do. And so those come from them as well. Okay, let's go ahead and scroll it, Chrissy. Okay, once you download that Rank 1 app, this is just a kind of a list here of things to do. Once you download that Rank 1 app, you just need to turn on your notifications. Again, claim your child. It'll show you the next 5 events that they have. All right, it'll show you, it'll populate a game schedule, and then it also will send you push notifications to your email that says, hey, you got a message in Rank 1. All right, go ahead, next one. All right, we've already talked about that one. Next one. Okay, now, let's hit on this for just a second. This is pre-participation forms. Rank 1 can also be accessed on your PC, and this is really important because we have all of our forms now are digital. Right? And I'll be honest with you as to why is because you have an athletic director who, if you hand him a piece of paper, it takes about 10 seconds for that to either be stuck in my pocket or drop on the floor, and you can ask me about it, and I'll go, I have no clue. I don't know where it went. Right? It's just, I'm horrible with paper. I have an admin assistant who is wonderful with it, but it gives it to you at your fingertips. Okay, so Rank 1, if you will go to the website, which is just www.rank1sports.com, and dial into the parent section. It will give you the opportunity to fill out all the pre-participation forms. And we have to have these done before we issue a game uniform to any of our student athletes. All right? So we are going to send you a message here in the next day or so over Rank 1, because we'll give you a chance to make sure you have it, all right, if you don't have it yet. And when we give you that message, it's going to have a link and directions into it so you can get to those forms and access it, all right? But it is helpful if you'll do that on a PC, because it's a lot more user-friendly than the phone. The only thing that's not digital is our physical form, all right? Because you actually have to take your physical form to a doctor and have them fill that out for your student, all right? But it is accessible on the Rank 1 page, or the forms page, when you go in there if you're on a PC, so you can just print it out. If you don't have a printer or something like that, you can just call our office or email Miss Lisa Kaminsky in my front office, and she will send you or hand you. She's got some printed out there, she'll just hand you, or you can just ask her, she'll email you a copy as well. So anyway, once you have that filled out and completed the physical, if you could please email it back to her, because we'll just upload it into our computer system and put it straight into Rank 1, and Rank 1 keeps up with all that for us to make sure that we know that everybody's got that turned in. One more, go ahead. All right, so this is another QR code that is very important. And again, we'll put these up there at the end. For anyone, if you want to sign up for sport, all right, you have to go in. We have a place online that you do that. All right, this QR code will give you access to sports signups. So you can go on there, and then while you're on there, you can pay your fees for that sport. You can take care of anything that you need to take care of on there in terms of signups. All right, but we do have to have you actually go on there and sign up for that sport, so we have digital record of it, and that's how we take care of the payments. We can take payments in other ways if that's not something that you're real comfortable with. We certainly can take a check, or if you want to bring a credit card up here, to school to take care of those things that way as well. But that's a really easy way to do it. And again, we'll put that up later at the end so you can have access to that. Go ahead, Chris. There are 3 options in terms of paying for your athletic fees. So each sport that you participate in has a fee. All right, you can do what's called Pay It Now, and that is on the sign-up link. So you just go in and pay the whole thing right there and take your credit card. All right, you can do a one-time billing to your fax account. We can bill you and again, you can choose that on the sign-up page. Or you can choose on the sign-up page to have monthly fax payments amortized over the semester. Okay, so that's an option for you as well. So you don't have to pay for it all at once, because I know that helps at times, and we've done that many times. Go ahead, Chris. All right.
Schedules. Volleyball and basketball are generally on Saturdays. Football is generally on Thursdays. Volleyball and basketball will get schedules to us very late. So just be patient with us. Sometimes we don't get schedules to last minute. And we'll definitely send an email so you are informed when the schedule will be. Transportation. We ask families to drive their child to all basketball and volleyball games since they are all in town on Saturdays. Transportation is provided for football, cross country, and track. We will need assistance with transportation even if it is provided.
And just another couple of notes on the transportation. So our volleyball and basketball leagues that we are in all participate in a league that happens here in town, and it's usually they're at San Antonio Christian School. So there's not any home games for that, because that's where that league is. And so, we ask families to just, if that's one of those leagues, then just bring your kids there, but your coaches will be in contact with you about that. And the last point here that we talked about is that we will need assistance with transportation, even if it's provided. There's sometimes that we just got more kids than we can get on a bus. So if that's the case, we may call on a parent at times and say, hey, could you take a few kiddos? If you do, we'll just need you to fill out a few forms for that. So we may call on some folks at times to help with transportation. If it's one of those sports that we transport kids from school to that event. All right, go ahead, Chrissy. All right, go ahead, one more. All right, scroll down again. That's the high school, middle school. Okay, one last thing here is that when we send you the information that we're about to send you in that link tomorrow, you'll see the information scrolled in there for practice times. All right, so when you look at our practice schedules, it's kind of in an Excel, and so you just have to look at the side, and we would have this linked, but we had some technical problems. All right, if you just look to the left side, it shows the team, the name of the team. It'll say middle school basketball or middle school football or intermediate volleyball or whatever it is. And then it'll just say Monday, it's got the practice time, Tuesday's got the practice time, Wednesday's got the practice time, so forth and so on. But just so you know, for those sports that are coming up, cross-country practices are right after school. All right, we'll have that scheduled to you in your inbox. But you do have an option to come before school if you want to as well. Coach Diane Ouellette is the coach of that, and so you'll have that information. Football is right after school also, but they do a little bit of work in their athletic period as well. So they do something there, and then they join the middle school football team afterwards. And then our volleyball team is during their PE period. So that's when they're going to do all their workouts. So that's what the intermediate practice system looks like. Go ahead and scroll down.
Who coaches intermediate sports? There's our goal to have coaches in our middle school and high school programs work with our intermediate students as well. However, we do at times have additional coaches step in if that is not possible. There are also times when our staff coaches are able to work with students during practice and have volunteers present to coach on the weekends.
So what Coach is mentioning there is that it's our goal to have a vertically aligned program. So we like to have our high school and middle school coaches come down and work with our intermediate folks. All right, so a lot of times you'll see that those coaches are there, during the week, and then we have some volunteers that come in also that help, and those volunteers will sometimes go with our students on the weekends. And so that's kind of how that system works, all right? Just so that we can, so our staff coaches, they can only be so many places during the week at one time. So that helps our program, though. So just understand that's how that works. Go ahead and scroll down, Chris. All right, so the last thing is this. There is also in our forms catalog a packet with an opportunity to look and see what our athletic handbook says. It is our athletic handbook says. There's a signature page in that forms catalog in rank 1 for that handbook as well. I'm not going to go through it all here. We actually have a link to it, but it's not working right now, so we won't go through it all. But it is important if you could go through and just take a look at those things that it says. It just shows you all the rules and regulations and how we function and all those kind of things. So we're going to go ahead and let you go. If you have any questions for us, we're not going to take it in an open forum, but we will be right up here. Coach Brooks and myself will be right up here. If you have any questions, we'd love to visit with you, meet you if you're a new person, or if you've been with us for a while, you just have some questions, you just want to say hi, we'll be happy to field those for you. So anyway, have a wonderful night, and then we'll see y'all soon in a few days. Let's go get them Eagles.